Hi, my name is Cody. I'm a software engineer here in San Francisco. In this video, we are building a coding agent from scratch using LangGraph. In this video, we're taking our old kind of naive implementation of an agent workflow, and we're refactoring it to be a more modern and simple kind of ReAct agent. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this current architecture, bring it down from 3 prompts and turn it into 1 prompt, along with tool calling to make this a much simpler thing. So we're going to start with this graph right here, and we're going to end up with a graph that's more like this, where we have this software developer assistant. And what it does is it's going to loop back and forth to the tools available to it, and then it will continuously make tool calls until our task is complete. This is a simpler agent architecture, and it's also going to be a more stable foundation as we continue to add more capabilities to our agent, because we can simply start to add more tools into our tool calling and start to get more kind of better capabilities and planning and all sorts of great things that come from simplifying and doing this architecture. So let's jump right into the code. So to start, we're going to jump into our fast API application right here, which has just a couple of things. One of them is our home route, but then the most important one is our chat message right here. And basically we're going to have to refactor our current thing. It's not that hard because we already have our graph equals build workflow, and then we actually just pull out build workflow from our agents.write.html agent nodes. What we're going to do is we're actually going to pull in a ReAct agent. So we're going to go from agents.react agent.nodes import build workflow. And then we can actually just get rid of this old one. Now let's go ahead and open up our agents file here, and let's create our new folder, which we're going to call ReAct agent. Okay. We're going to go ahead and add nodes.py. Go ahead and bring in some of our current things. We're going to need to define some tool calling here. Now, if you remember from our last video, we actually defined these tools to write HTML, write CSS, and write JavaScript, and we even gave it the file paths. We're going to do that. So let's go ahead and just take these tools from there, and let's throw it in here. Okay. Let's go ahead and grab the tools out of our global tool list right here. Let's paste that into our nodes.py. Okay, we're also going to pull in a couple of other things that we need. We're going to need a messages state. This will keep track of all of our messages. And then we're going to grab our human message, our system message. Let's go ahead and grab AI message as well. Okay, let's go ahead and come down here. We're going to paste in a starting point. This code was taken from LangGraph Academy. Now, one of the things to point out here is we have these LangGraph pre-built variables. Specifically, we have our tools condition and our tool node. So in the last video, you saw that we had manually created code up here. In fact, this is our tool calling basic kind of agent that we were looking at in the last video. We created this new object called a tool class request, and then we had written a method to invoke the tool call, and then we had actually manually iterated using a loop to go through and implement the tool calling. But LangGraph actually has a very nice pre-built package called tools node, where in LangGraph, if you route to the tool node, it will actually do all that for us automatically, which is a very, very nice abstraction and helps us build things a lot quicker with less code. They also have a tools condition edge kind of pre-built class, and this helps us when we're creating a conditional edge from our assistant node into our tools node. It already has that logic implemented as well. So let's go ahead and scroll down and let's pull it into our graph here. First thing is we actually also need to create a build workflow method. So let's go ahead and grab that, and then let's go ahead and just indent this so it's into that method scope. From here, we're going to create a new state graph with our messages state, which is another pre-built LangGraph thing. And then in here, you can see that our tools are defined globally up here, and we can just pass in the tools to our tool node. We can add a new edge, which is from the start node to the software developer assistant node. And then we add a conditional edge, which basically this tools condition, then it will route it to our tool node, and it will automatically execute on that tool. In this case, we're going to go ahead and return our ReAct graph. And then this was the example of how we execute it. So we'll go ahead and get rid of all that. Let's go ahead and jump back into our app.py where our fast API app is. Okay, let's come down here to where we were building our workflow. Okay, so we have this build workflow. Okay, and we're going to do the same streaming. Now in this case, we already have the message. I think this should just work. Let's go ahead and just run it. There might be a little bit of an issue. Initial user message, existing HTML content. Okay, it does actually already read that. Let's just go ahead and run this and see if it works. So let's open up a new tab and go to localhost 8000/chat. Okay. Now I'm going to say, please create an arcade game of Snake. Make the background purple. Okay. Let's go ahead and kick this off. There's going to be a little bit of debugging, I'm sure. Okay, did not like that. Okay. So in here, we actually need to LM equals chat OpenAI. We're going to use 04 mini. Okay, and then we need to bind our tools like that. Okay, I think that should solve that problem. Let's go ahead and try it again. Please make an arcade game of Snake and make it purple background. Okay, threw an error. Let's see what that is. Oh, unsupported parameter. Parallel tool calls. It does not like that with 04 mini, so let's just go ahead and remove this. 04 mini, it's always going to run the tool call sequentially. Try this one more time. Okay, now it seems to like it a little bit better. Let's see if our streaming node state kind of holds up with this new paradigm. Okay, software developer assistant, tools, HTML code written to page, HTML, CSS code written. So the processing details are a little more sparse, and we're also looking at from the interface of our llama bot. But one thing that would be good that we'll do after this, oh, look at that. Okay, so it did do it. One thing we're going to look at is let's go ahead and run it from LangGraph Studio as well, so you can kind of see the full visualization of what we're doing. So let's go ahead and jump back into this. Okay. Okay, so when that launches LangGraph Studio, let's go ahead and come over here. Let's go to our message. Let's say, please make a game of asteroids with stars in the background. If you shoot the asteroid, please make it break apart. Make the ship a triangle with the tip pointing in the orientation of the ship. Make it so you can accelerate the ship. And another triangle shows behind the ship as if it was the engine firing, and make it if you collide with an asteroid, you lose a life. All right, let's see what that comes up with. Let's go ahead and send this in. Now we can visualize in real time as the agent's running, rather than it going just through the one workflow where it goes route initial request, write HTML code. It's now going to go and you're going to see it loop through. See how it's looping? So it's going to software developer assistant, then it's going to tools, then it's going back to software developer assistant, then it's going back to tools. You can see it's writing JavaScript. And what's going to be cool is in the future we can extend this to write Python code as well. And we can extend this so that the humans in the loop and we can actually chat back and forth. And this unlocks so much more capabilities. The other thing too is if you look at the nodes code here, let's go to nodes.py. If you look at the node, the actual code here, look at how much, this is 72 lines of code. Think about how much that simplifies it compared to our old implementation of write HTML agent. Like this is the entire thing right here. Whereas now with React Agent, we literally have one file. It's doing one API call, right? And it's 72 lines of code, whereas this is 27, 55, plus 31, plus 32, plus 10, plus etc. So this is a much simpler agent when we're leaning on the LangGraph pre-built nodes. And okay, let's see what our outcome is. Let's refresh this. Okay, and here we go. Oh, look at that. Does it work if I shoot? It does. Cool, so we just build a game of asteroids. And if we are losing lives, boom, and that's game over. So there we go. Now we have a fully kind of React agent that's writing multiple files at once. And with this architecture is actually going to give us a lot more freedom and flexibility to build something a lot more impressive, a lot faster, and to really kind of take this coding agent to the next level. So in the next videos, we're going to continue building on this process of having a React agent and increasingly starting to rely on pre-built LangGraph nodes and tools and even agents, entire agents they have that are pre-built. And yeah, we'll jump into it then. Thanks. Bye.